Get in, loser. We're going podcasting.
Rock on. You can unlock the door first.
Maybe.
Warning. Pregnant women, the elderly, and children under 16 should avoid prolonged exposure to dirt.
All right. It is the Dirt Diggler. Wait. No, he's not here this week?
No, we don't have him today.
All right. Yeah, it's just you and me, huh, Brandon?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all right. Well.
So would it be the Dork Diggler show?
Yeah, I guess I'm Dork Diggler today, and you are Brandon, the Chicago Kid.
I am Brandon, the Chicago Kid.
All right, let's get to today's schedule. How's everybody doing today, by the way?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Got the holidays out of the way, and you're just looking forward to going into the new year on a high note. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing pretty good, too. I got my mom out of the hospital. She's fiercely independent and stubborn. As a matter of fact, I believe she referred to her heart surgeon as an overcautious jackass with a God complex.
Ooh. Well, first of all, I'm glad to hear that she's doing well.
Yeah. She was fiercely independent and against doctor's orders, doing things she was told not to do. I'm not going to throw her completely under the bus, but she's like, I can do it, God damn it.
Yeah, well,
so it's good to see her back at it.
Yeah, we're not going to mention Mama Dork's name on air because just in case her doc is listening, we don't, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But right. So today, on today's schedule, we're going to touch briefly on NBA coverage because a couple of interesting things happened with our teams this week. Steeler Nation had a fucking meltdown.
Oh my God, this is going to be
It's
great.
Hilarious.
This is about to be wonderful.
Yeah, I fucking love it, and I'm going to go into insane detail. This is going to be a very good segment. We're going to unveil the finals results of our Beards bracket.
That's awesome also.
Yeah. And then we'll go into our Week 16 game recaps.
Also,
and our Week 17 uneducated predictions with a shitty game time beer of the week nestled in there between. And then we'll have our shitty hot takes, which we are going to make up on the fly.
Yep.
So get those shitty hot takes ready, Brandon.
I'm trying. I'm gonna have the wheels turning throughout the show.
Oh, yes. I've already got my wheels turning. So, yeah, the Celtics got lucky as all heck on Thursday night against Houston. Fell down 26 points against James Harden and the struggling Rockets. You know, CP3's out with that abductor injury. They're really playing down to their level of competition.
Hey, is it me or is CP3 hurt at least twice a year?
Yeah, well, it's buy some time to do all those State Farm commercials.
You know what? It makes sense now.
Have you ever seen Cliff and Chris Paul in the same room?
Have you ever seen Batman and I almost said Clark Kent? I would have fucked that up tremendously. Have you ever seen Batman and Bruce Wayne in the same room?
Yeah. No. But yeah, I mean, it's just so Chris Paul's out, and the Rockets play as reflected. They've lost 4 in a row, and they played the C's on Thursday night, and they coughed up a 26-point lead and
that
lost to the Celtics
like
by
choking.
1.
You know what? I have over the past couple of weeks, like I've been able to catch a few of the Celtics games, and those guys look good, man. Just wait until they actually get Hayward back.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Tatum's been nice.
Yeah.
Leading the NBA in three-point percentage as a rookie, a 19-year-old kid. Yeah, he's doing it all.
Oh, yeah, he's doing very well. Kyrie is Kyrie. He's
Kyrie. Have you seen that new commercial with him and Gronk?
I dig it, man. I dig it. I really like it.
What, you don't like Sun Tzu?
This is my world.
Yeah. And then, I've been really digging what Jaylen Brown's been doing. He's really matured before our eyes.
Yeah, and I think
Aaron Baines too. Yeah,
I think that the only thing that would, well, actually, I can't say the only thing that would make them better, because they're damn near one of the best teams in the NBA. The scary thing is that these guys are getting better. Like once they actually gel. Ooh, man, that's about to be trouble for somebody.
Yeah, I just, they slipped up on Christmas night against the Wizards, but I mean, you look at the games, the amount of games they've played this month. They played something like 10 games in 15 days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was brutal. So they're a little tired. A lot of back-to-backs in there. And they're almost through it, though, so they'll probably have a couple of weeks of dominant basketball again. So how about them Bulls, though?
You know what, man? I kind of don't know what to think about them because they went off on like a 7-game win streak and then they lost to the Cavaliers, which I expected anyway.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
I mean, shout out to LeBron James. Today is his birthday. But,
yeah,
the Bulls, the Bulls are the Bulls. Like, they're gonna have little stretches where they play well, but it won't be good enough to get them back into the playoffs. Not this season.
No, they're clearly in a rebuild. They traded away all their best pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough to watch, because they were right there, too, right up until they decided to blow the whole thing up. It is what it is. You can only say so much. Yeah. And so you mentioned LeBron's birthday, and the only reason I know that that's today is that I had an ex-girlfriend who had the same birthday. And she would remind me about it constantly, like while I was watching Celtics games. So I was like, sweetheart, shut up. Yeah, so...
Yeah, that had to be fun in some... Or not.
Like, it was what it was. I'm starting to sound like Bill Belichick here. It is what it is.
Look, your impressions are spot on, man. Like,
I do voice work pretty well, apparently. Yeah. So So speaking of Belichick, he pulled a move this week that has Steeler Nation rather upset. Yeah. And let's frame this here. The Steelers decided to release James Harrison, who is complaining about a lack of playing time. He's played 40 snaps in 15 games. You would too. I mean, he was told he would have a bigger role on this team. Mm-hmm. He was told he would get more snaps. He'd get like 20 snaps a game. And he's barely gotten 5 or 6. He's been sitting on the bench. He's been pissed off. He's becoming a detriment to the locker room. So they decided to shit can him. He clears waivers through all 31 other teams. And then the Patriots, who are desperate at edge rusher at this point in the season because they've been ravaged by injuries, say,
they've been decimated.
Hey man, do you want to come play for us? And the Patriots are only on the hook for $60,000 of salary for him this season.
You couldn't beat that with a stick.
No, I mean, he's had all kinds of rest. He's healthy. He fills a need. It made sense. I mean, even James Harrison himself said to himself, like, dude, I had to really think long and hard about this one before I took the deal. And then what happened was he signs on Tuesday, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. It was the day after Christmas. And then Pittsburgh Steeler Nation lost their fucking minds.
They lost their collective shit.
I mean, even the players were saying, man, he erased his legacy, and that guy ain't shit anyway. Fuck that guy. And we're like I'm just sitting there like listening to all this between players, fans, coaches, and I'm thinking to myself, how many condos does Bill Belichick have inside the heads of these people?
Like,
this is why the Steelers have lost 11 of 13 since Brady has taken over at quarterback.
Here's something that I need a lot of people to understand, especially when it comes to shit like sports, man. People always talk about guys not being loyal to the teams that they played for and everything. And what happens when a team releases a guy and he ends up going to a rival? Like, is there supposed to be some type of loyalty there? Because obviously you didn't think shit about the guy to just go ahead and release him.
Right. And I mean, I felt that way about 12 years ago when Johnny Damon went to the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Lost my mind. Holy shit, burn his jersey. And then I sat back and I thought about it. I'm like, really, it's no big deal, right?
Right.
Like, seriously, these guys are looking for a paycheck.
And they're going to get it by any means.
Right. And by any means necessary. Yeah, exactly.
These guys got families to feed.
Yeah. And James Harrison, 39 years old, doesn't have much to offer anyway. It's not like he's going to be a dominant edge rusher. He's just going to fill a need. He's going to fill in snaps while Kyle Van Noy gets to, kind of do other things in the Patriots defense.
Right.
But you're sitting there, you're watching Steeler Nation burn jerseys. You're sitting there watching, Steeler players trash him. Marquise Pouncey was the best one of the bunch. Erased his legacy.
No, he didn't.
He's going to win a ring, asshole.
Like that any attention, man. And he probably will win a ring. because of that move.
Yeah, January 21st.
Yeah.
Like January 21st, we're going to find out how much they really want it, And it's hilarious to me. I'm sitting here, I'm laughing, and I just can't get enough of Steeler Nation. And yeah, this is why the Patriots own your asses.
Every fucking year. It never fails.
Every fucking year. And this is why. But it's not all bad, Steeler Nation. You did win something this week.
Yes, you did.
We have the finals results of our Beards tournament. And in the final, by a paltry 2 votes, Brett Kiesel edged out James Harden.
And he is the Bears finals champion.
Yeah, Brett Kiesel, who looks like a Viking.
Yeah.
That's the most fiercest beard I've ever seen. When we put this together, I said to Dirt and Gian, I was like, Kiesel has to be the number 1 overall seed. There's nobody else. Look at that goddamn beard.
Like he has the kind of beard that makes people jealous. Like anybody who wants to grow a beard. Matter of fact, anybody who has a beard and they want it to be full and full and thick, they want it to be something like what he has.
Brett Kiesel is a beard goal.
Yeah.
# beard goals.
You're welcome.
That's right. Yeah, so Kiesel wins, and then next show, we're going to put together our mullets bracket. And we're going to unveil that for the best sports mullet. And I'm going to tell you right now, between 80s tennis players, 80s hockey players, and just plain guys in Minnesota, we got some good ones.
Yeah,
Jared Allen.
I was just about to say, I think I'm pulling for old Jared Allen, man.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun one. Speaking of fun, before we start our game recaps and uneducated predictions, we decided to change things up a little bit and start our shitty game time beer of the week segment a little earlier in the show. So,
yeah, for me, I actually have a shitty beer this week, and it's actually the beer isn't bad. It's just the size of the bottle that's horrible. I have Coronita Extra.
Coronita?
Yeah, Coronita.
And why is it a
Extra?
Coronita? That means little Corona, does it not?
Yes, it does. And it's so bad that I had to actually get 2 of them to feel like I drank 1.
7-ounce beers will do that to you.
Yeah,
I also need a bit of more of a punch this week because I am consuming Michelob Ultra because Dork's kind of on a diet now. And I'm getting a little hefty. I need to cut it back. Dirt and I were talking about, man, we both need to rein it in a bit in the weight department.
You know what? Finding a good beer do that.
Yeah, well, Michelob Ultra, 4% alcohol by volume, 2.6 carbs, and only 95 calories. They've hung their hat on that for over a decade. So
Sounds
that's
like
what I'm drinking. And
beer.
let's sample our beers here.
Bottoms up.
So Mich Ultra is smooth. It's got a nice taste to it. Not too thick on the, no aftertaste. Definitely a game time beer. Definitely one you probably see consumed at many a sports bar in America. How are you doing on that Coronita?
After 2 swallows, I'm damn near finished. But
goodbye.
But this Corona actually is my game time beer. So
it's a go-to.
It's a go-to. It's a go-to for me.
Yeah.
Now, will I make the mistake of buying Coronitas again? Probably so.
No.
But,
you gonna look at the weight of the bottle next time, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'll make sure I'll do the next time.
Please read all the labels, folks. It is important.
It's very important.
Yes. So, all right, we're gonna segue off of that into our week 16 game recaps. And we're going to start off with the Christmas night matchup with the Eagles and the Raiders. I put this at the top of the list because I wanted Dirty to just go on and on and on about how much he loved how his Eagles looked. Let's be honest here. They clinched home field advantage, but they looked terrible.
Yeah, they did. As a matter of fact, I watched the second half of this game.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I tuned in, the score was 10-10.
Mm-hmm.
Neither team could really move the ball on offense, so both defenses were really playing very well.
Yeah, it's like Nick Foles was very pedestrian from what I saw, and it does not bode well for the playoff push for the Eagles.
It doesn't.
Who obviously are going to be missing Carson Wentz. I mean, but to get taken to the wire by a team like Oakland, who is playing out the stretch, I mean, and you see that a lot. I saw that a lot with a lot of the games in Big 16. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
Just teams that are kind of just filling out boxes on the schedule, just checking it off. Played a lot of teams that are going places really tough. And the Eagles especially, but I mean, we can understand why the Eagles are struggling because they're trying to find their identity in a post-Carson Wentz world.
Yeah, and that I think that'll be kind of tough because they're gonna have to figure something out. Like Nick Foles,
yeah, they definitely are.
Nick Foles isn't a bad quarterback, but also at the same time, he's not Carson Wentz.
No, I mean that's the problem. Is nobody's Carson Wentz in terms of what he can do on the field. Pennsylvania is a thing.
It's a very real thing.
But they did clinch home field advantage with this victory.
They did, and I'd like to see who they end up matched up against in that second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think in the divisional round, you're probably going to see them up against like an NFC South team.
And just their luck, it'll probably end up being the Panthers.
Well, the Panthers could still get a bye depending on tomorrow's results too. So we don't even know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, that's true.
But there could be as many as 3 NFC South teams in the playoffs this year.
That's the scary thing, man. Like NFC
if the
South
Falcons
teams
win tomorrow, then they've got 3.
Yeah, and the Falcons, they've got, who do they have?
Carolina.
Oh wow, they're gonna
we'll
get one of those 2
teams.
They're gonna get one of those 2 teams.
I know it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
My Patriots got a fight from the Bills in the first half. Now, just before the end of the first half, a moment of controversy happened where Kelvin Benjamin appeared to catch a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But upon further review, as he was establishing control of the ball, his left foot came up off the ground. There's no pebbles being kicked or anything. They wave off the touchdown. And the Bills are forced to settle for a field goal just before the half ties the game at 13.
Mm-hmm.
Bills players go into the tunnel accusing Bob Kraft of having paid off the refs. Hey, folks, right here, right now, let me just level with y'all. The league hates the goddamn Patriots, okay? Hates them. I mean, they went out of their way to make a nothing burger like Deflategate into a firestorm to discredit this team.
Deflategate should have never been as big as it was.
To create enough of a distraction to hopefully distract them from winning another Super Bowl. Didn't work. And then, when that didn't work, they decided they were going to invent a bullshit suspension for Tom Brady for 4 games. Yeah, fuck you. It's an equipment violation. It should have started at a $25,000 fine for the team, but it's the Patriots, so rabble.
You know what? Going back to that catch, my question is, what the fuck is a catch?
I understand where you're coming from, too, because, you know what? Benjamin did establish control of the ball. But it's like, everybody's got a different interpretation of it, right?
It seems like there's a different interpretation every game. Like, there's something new every time something controversial comes up. And the shit started with Dez Bryant. Since then, no, I take that back.
It started with
Calvin Johnson against the Bears. Mm-hmm. If you ask a Bears fan, I mean, you could ask me. This shit wasn't a catch. Fuck it. He didn't get it. They didn't win the game.
Right? That's like me. Kelvin Benjamin didn't finish the process of making a catch. Just as Jesse James did not survive the ground. Austin Seferian-Jenkins did not maintain possession as he crossed the pylon. Okay? That's 3 times this year it's benefited the Patriots, so people are up in arms about it. Yeah. But let me just tell you something, folks. I thought about this, too. The whole paying the refs thing. While the league does hate the Patriots, the refs hate the league. That last labor negotiation, we brought on scab refs in 2012. Remember Fail Mary at Seattle?
Yep.
Maybe the refs thought, fuck these assholes. They're not paying us enough. We're going to look for outer sources of revenue. And Bob Kraft, wanting to stick it to Goodell just as bad as they did, said, guys, let's do business. Why not, right? It's like the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. Just tossing them greens around, smashing childhood dreams. You know, Bob Kraft looks like the kind of guy that would kick a basketball away from a kid as he's about to dribble it for the 15th time and win $1,000.
Or pop a balloon just so they let it go.
Right. Or you know, like, just, you know, kick a puppy. Just terrible human being, Bob Kraft. Terrible humanitarian, too.
Yeah, he looks like he's the type who would punt a panda.
Like the rest are getting paid by Bob Kraft. Let's just start that theory. Hashtag refs are paid. And let's just move on. The Chiefs, they beat the Dolphins to eliminate the Dolphins from playoff contention, while
Not
also
that it really mattered.
wrapping up the AFC West for themselves.
Yeah.
So they have won the division. They are now locked into the 4 seed. And we'll cover what the ramifications of that are in the uneducated predictions, because a lot of uneducated predictions are affected by roster moves this week. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So
one of the
Bears
things
avoided becoming that team.
and I'm so glad that we avoided becoming that team.
Oh yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah. You know what, Trubisky actually he went out and he played pretty well. He didn't pass for a touchdown, but he kept the offense moving.
It
Jordan Howard,
was a slushy mess out there.
Oh yeah, Jordan Howard was Jordan Howard, and the injury bug is biting the shit out of the Bears right now.
Well, yeah, and also you guys got lucky and had a pick 6 taken off the board because the Browns jumped off sides. Because that's the most Browns thing they could have done.
Yeah, you can't be a part of the Browns without doing Browns level shit.
I mean, it's like the Browns set off the metal detectors in most airports all over the country. If only because of all the lead in their feet, because they shoot themselves there so many times.
Yep, that'll do it.
And they've Browns their way to 0-15, and it's funny. They're 1 win away from completing the march to imperfection, or 1 loss, excuse me.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they have a division game that's coming.
Oh yeah, they have Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, it should be a breeze. That's gonna be a breeze.
That's a wrap, folks. I mean, they should be 5-10 right now. They should have 5 wins on the season, but they've managed to blow them all away. Deshaun Kaiser continues to prove he is not an NFL quarterback. He does not have the mental makeup for it. And the Browns are going to they clinched the number 1 draft pick.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, they're about to fuck up some young man's hopes and dreams of being an NFL
I don't know. We'll see.
quarterback.
We have to see what kind of talent evaluator John Dorsey is.
Well, I hope he's a whole hell of a lot better than the last guy that they had.
Sashi Brown was just awful. He was good at stockpiling draft capital, and it's like John Dorsey feels like he has a platinum credit card right now.
He should.
Yeah,
He
because
really
of all the
should.
capital. He's going to have 2 top 5 picks.
As long as he can go out there and make good picks. They don't even have to be great picks.
Yeah.
Just go out and make good picks.
Pick a need, and actually field a competitive team. Please.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know,
I'm just tired of seeing this.
Yeah.
And change their uniforms. God, I'm tired of seeing the Cleveland thing across the front of the jersey. Let them go back to the old white jerseys.
Yeah, they need to go back to the old uniforms. Mikey fucked that one up.
It's just terrible. Ugh.
Yeah. They're an eyesore.
Yeah, they look like asses.
They are the Browns.
Speaking of asses, by the way, did you see that Marshawn Lattimore interception against the Falcons this Sunday?
I had to rewatch that play a few times just so I could get the wow factor out.
Oh my god, he trapped it on his ass. On his ass. And the guys next to me, they're all Falcons fans, and I'm wearing my Patriots gear in a bar in Buffalo Wild Wings in Bowling Green, Kentucky, mind you. And I'm getting dirty looks all over the place. And I was like, oh my god, he trapped it off his head. And they're all like, bullshit, that's not an interception.
And sure enough, it's an interception. Okay, we lost the Dork, and we got to get him back.
Oops.
All right, we got him back.
Technical difficulties.
You know what? I'm so glad I didn't stop recording.
Thank God. Yeah, the iPad kind of got knocked over.
It's all good, man.
But anyway, so, that Marshawn Lattimore pick just sums up the Falcons' day in a nutshell. Anytime they try to get any type of momentum, a freak break of luck happened. And, between that and the Edel catch in the Super Bowl, That's the kind of luck the Falcons have in 2017.
Yeah, like that happening all in one calendar year. Like you got to feel like something within.
How did they piss off the football god?
Yeah, who did you piss off? Who did you make mad?
Right? Yeah, but the word they also blew a chance to clinch a playoff berth in this game, and also ended their hopes of winning the NFC South. So they go into a do or die game against the Panthers, which we will get into in a minute. Which was just tough to sit again, shooting yourself in the foot.
I doubt they have as much lead in their feet as the Browns do.
No, of course not. No
team does.
How do they walk with all that lead? Yeah,
they probably drag their feet.
I see what you did there. Nice. Got him.
All right, moving forward, we had a matchup with the Seahawks and the Cowboys, and
yeah.
Somebody on this show enjoyed the shit out of that.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah, that sound in the background.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
I know. Dork Diggler enjoys him some cowboy misery. He revels in that shot in Friday almost as much as I revel in Steelers shot in Friday. And Bill shot in Friday. Whatever. But so the Cowboys are officially eliminated in a game in which they were completely flat in all phases.
Yeah. They came out and played like ass all the way through.
They were always saying, wait till we get Zeke back. Wait till we get Zeke back. We the boys. We go into the Super Bowl.
You got him back and
they shit their pants.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bad that Dan Bailey missed 2 field goals. And that completely altered their late game decision making. They were, instead of being down 21-12, they would have been down 21-18 and playing for a game tying field goal. But by the way, why do you have to rely upon Dan Bailey to make 6 field goals to stay in the game? Russell Wilson had less than 100 yards passing. Their leading rusher only had 30 yards for the Seahawks. There was no way, no business for the Seahawks had no business winning this game.
They really
None.
did.
And the Cowboys kept saying, no, we insist. You take this one. It's Merry Christmas. Here's a gift.
Have the game.
Yeah, please. We didn't want to go to the playoffs or anything. Get the fuck out of here, that shit. And so the Cowboys gave Dirt a nice little Christmas present. And Mr. Diggler had himself a merry little Christmas.
Of course he did.
And the Yuletide was gay.
Hey,
I'm just quoting the song because gay means happy.
Hey, one thing, after that game, I want to call him Earl Thomas. That's his name, right? The
the Earl Thomas thing. Yeah, I had a good laugh about that. Yeah, come pick me up, right?
Yeah. After the game, he goes to the Cowboys locker room, or he goes through their.
No, he went up to the sideline.
Oh, sideline. Same shit.
Yeah, on the field.
But he goes over and he talks to Dez Bryant and he sees Jason Garrett and he's like, "Hey, come get me."
Yeah. Hey, catch me on free agency. How about that?
Yeah. Because
what?
First of all, who wouldn't want to play for their home team?
Yeah, I mean, he is a Texas native and he grew up loving the Cowboys, so I understand that. But you don't communicate that desire when your team has just played a game in that stadium,
in which
you are a member of that rival team.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
That's where he messed up. I don't fault him for doing it. However, the timing was horrible.
Right. And I think that his teammates have right to be angry with him. And this is the final disintegration of the Legion of Boom.
Yeah, the Legion of Boom is done.
It's done. Yeah, I mean Sherman and Chancellor are up there in years. I mean, we say in terms of a defensive back, most of them don't play past 32.
Yeah,
and they're all in their late 20s, early 30s. And Thomas wants out, and he's like the heart and soul of that defense. Bobby Wagner can only be so many places at once, and Russell Wilson can only carry the offense so much.
Yeah, Captain Osprey can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is like the beginning of a long, steady fall into anonymity for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll go back to being complete shit, but
right. Pete Carroll can still
time.
put together a decent defense. They need to adjust the offense. Jimmy Graham ain't shit anymore, right?
Yeah, and really outside of Russell Wilson, who do they really have on offense? With
They haven't had a running back since
Baldwin.
Marshawn.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
So they gotta get some good offensive pieces, man. Because I think the defense will be fine.
Yeah, I think they can adjust without Earl Thomas, But I think the Seahawks, didn't really impress me, but they're still alive. Yeah. That's the thing. A win and an Atlanta loss, and they're in.
Well, now we just got to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, Rams Titans. Did you see the end of this game? This was the local game where I was.
I didn't even bother to watch that.
Todd Gurley had a nice little touchdown run. Jared Goff was a little bit sloppy with the football. This game was kind of meh. The Titans didn't really impress me, and haven't impressed me for 3 straight weeks during their 3-game losing streak. The Rams needed every little trick in the book to beat them, and that doesn't really bode well for them. But we'll see. It was a rematch of Super Bowl 34,
which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean
that was the only cool part of the game.
Yeah, but I mean the Rams won the NFC West as a result of this game, and then the Titans luckily stayed alive. They still control their own destiny. They could, if they beat Jacksonville on Sunday, they go to the playoffs. And the Rams kind of, They really look good in certain parts of the game, but then they didn't look good at all in others.
First of all, I think that I think Todd Gurley needs to be thrown into consideration for the MVP this season.
I think he does too. I think as Brady has kind of crested, trended downward the last couple of weeks.
And this kid has been awesome all season.
He's raised his game steadily week after week. I mean, that 80-yard touchdown pass on the screen pass that saved Jared Goff's life. Because the Titans were coming after him. Oh my!
They was on his ass.
Ball, he was going to die. He was going to die. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but Todd Gurley
saved his own damn life.
Todd Gurley, that boy good.
That boy good.
Yeah, that boy good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, ain't no terrible to Todd Gurley.
He's good and wonderful. Yeah. So, the Rams win the NFC West, and they get to contemplate resting starters as we go to Week 17. Panthers-Bucks. Now, this was an interestingly close game that didn't need to be because the Bucks are awful.
Yeah.
Dirk Cutter's are probably going to get fired.
Which would be a surprise.
Jameis has regressed. Jameis lost his damn mind after the end of this game, saying, toward the end of this game, because they said he fumbled. He said, I had the ball, and he had to be restrained 3 separate times from going back on the field, trying to plead his case that he had the ball, but he was so animated in doing so that it looked like he was about to throw hands with one of the refs.
Yeah, you got to calm down, big fella.
Yeah, I mean, that's another issue with the regression of Jameis Winston. And another reason why Dirk Cutter is probably going to get fired is because he was promoted to head coach to cultivate Winston's talents. That's why they fired Lovie Smith, and he hasn't done the job. I don't either. But the only reason they fired Lovie Smith was to keep Dirk Cutter, their offensive coordinator, from taking a head coaching job somewhere else, and he has failed miserably. The Panthers were lucked out and were able to beat this team 22-19. Cam kind of putting on his Superman cape and dragging his team to victory. That's sad when your leading running back is your quarterback. McCaffrey is kind of leveled off. I'm not as impressive with it as I was earlier in the season. The Panthers but they are one of the most dangerous teams going into the NFC playoffs.
Right.
This team could be anywhere from a 2 to a 5 seed.
I feel like the Panthers are the Jaguars at the NFC. Because the Jaguars, I feel like the Jaguars are going to shock a few people.
We'll see. No, the team not shocking anybody is the Packers.
At all.
Because when they went up against Minnesota last Saturday night, they didn't do anything. Brett Hundley proved what I've been saying for weeks. Not an NFL quarterback.
And I
Might be a
finally
rusher.
have to agree with you.
He looked terrible against the Vikings defense, which, to be fair, has happened a lot this season.
Yeah, I mean, it is the Vikings. They
The
play
Vikings are
damn
pretty
good
nasty on
As a matter of
defense.
fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they have the #1 defense in the NFL.
They moved into that position after this past week because of the Jaguars' result in San Francisco. In a minute. But yeah, the Pack won a boring game in which they just basically imposed their will on the Pack, did what they wanted to, both on offense and defense, enough to the point where they won 13-0.
Yeah, they
It was
damn near
brutally
demoralized
cold.
them.
It was brutally cold, and it was a brutal performance by Hundley. Aside from a couple of scrambles, he looked awful. And, Mike McCarthy is a fool, and we've lambasted him on multiple occasions on this show this season for sticking with Brett Hundley and not bringing in an actual quarterback, which I understand, you don't want to bring somebody in off the street and waste the time and money getting him acquainted with your system. And, I'm not going to sit here and do what we always do and advocate for Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
But he could have helped them win games.
I definitely
Anybody
think so.
but Brett Hundley could have helped the Pack win games this season.
Brett Favre would have helped them win the game.
Yeah, they had the wrong Brett under center.
Right.
Yeah.
But
farts cobwebs and pisses dust. Brett Favre could have done better.
I think, first of all, the Packers were done anyway. I mean,
They were eliminated prior to this game anyway.
But that game, that sealed the door shut.
Oh, no, it didn't just slam it shut. They gave him a swirly on the way out.
Yeah. So,
they're going to have a long off season to think about why they are where they are. And hopefully Rodgers comes back healthier. But this is the second time he's broken his collarbone.
Right.
And he is in his almost mid-30s.
Yeah, I think that the Vikings have a real chance of playing in the Super Bowl at home this year.
A lot of people are making a big deal out of that. And like Case Keenum, I heard him on NFL Network yesterday, say, I don't want to watch two teams that don't normally play here play in my stadium. And that's the kind of fire, that you want to have. And not only that, have you looked at the Vikings quarterback position?
I mean,
besides Keenum, you have also Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Bradford both healthy again.
Right. So if Keenum just happens to go down, I don't think they'll miss a beat.
I don't either. I think they'll be fine. No matter who plays quarterback for him. A three-headed monster at quarterback, isn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, normally you hear about a problem like that in college.
Yeah, and it's a problem they're going to have to deal with in the offseason because Keenum will be offered a starting job soon. I think he'll be a starting quarterback in the NFL next season. You can't keep all three. Bridgewater is the biggest X factor because he hasn't been seeing the field in over a year and a half. And he did actually finally see the field against the Bengals the other week.
And he threw a pick.
He threw a pick, but I mean, come on. It's his first live game action since August 2015 or something like that. Since the end of 2015.
I'm just glad that the kid was able to make it back on.
Oh, I know, yeah, especially because it was a horrifying injury.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's nice to see that Bradford's okay, too, and he can resume his playing career. Because he was the day one starter of this team. And he had inflammation on his knee from surgically repaired from the surgeries. Yeah. And they had to give him some time off to let that heal. And it's a little fluid.
Look, I think if Bradford gets hurt again, he may need to consider retirement.
I think so as well. I think, this is his 8th season, and he's had multiple knee surgeries, multiple shoulder surgeries.
Yeah. He's been
I remember joking with Dirt a long time ago that a stiff breeze could put Sam Bradford on IR.
And that's no joke.
It's no joke. You're right, and it's borne itself out over the course of the last few years. But the Packers, the Vikings have a nice little problem on their hands with the quarterback situation. They have a great defense. They have a solid running game. Mm-hmm. Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray, I believe, right? Yeah. Have done very well in tandem together. Thielen and Stefan Diggs are amazing together. They've really come into their own this season and established themselves as elite receivers.
Yeah. What's their tight end's name?
Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph is one of the top 5 tight ends in all of the NFL. And it's it's hard to bet against the Vikings going forward.
Yeah, like they're gonna make it tough, man. They are going to, and they will continue to make it tough.
But they also have 4 Super Bowl losses from the 70s that everybody loves to mention this time of year. So they're going to want to right that ship. They would be the first. They're only the 8th team in NFL history. I mean, and I say like as in calendar years, 8th team in NFL history to have a shot at playing their Super Bowl to make the playoffs in the year their stadium's hosting the Super Bowl. 4 times Miami did it.
I think Miami may have had the most Super Bowls,
Miami's hosted the most Super Bowls, and then 4 times when they hosted the Super Bowl, they were in the playoffs.
Okay.
And also you had the Jaguars, or excuse me, no, not the Jaguars, the Texans last season,
right?
And the Buccaneers a couple of times when the Tampa Bay hosted the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's never been done before, but the Vikings, again, have a chance to do it. The Cardinals, a couple of years ago, I forgot about that. When Super Bowl 49 was in Arizona.
Okay. Yeah.
Cardinals made the playoffs, but before that happened, Carson Palmer went on injured reserve. Like, they were looking like they were going to have the Super Bowl at home themselves. So it's the problem of, we've seen this before, but they always run into something. Like Houston's problem was they had Bork Assweiler at quarterback last season. So there's going to be, I'm hoping there isn't a wart in Minnesota's run to prevent them from doing that, because it would be cool to see.
Yeah, it definitely would. Like, as a Bears fan, I'd hate to see them win it, to be honest with you. But
as a Patriots fan wanting to repeat, I wouldn't want to see it either.
Yeah, but really just as a fan of the game, like, that would be really cool to watch.
Yeah, it would be fun because you always strive for a neutral field, but this would be it has to happen once. Yeah.
Yeah. So also we had the Ravens and the Colts in the game where
I didn't give a fuck about this game.
Nobody did. You know what? I don't give.
I was rooting for the giant meteor. These are the guys that conspired to create Deflategate. Fuck both of them. My feelings on this are well documented. The Ravens did what they needed to do and survived a bad game against an awful team, and they control their own destiny going into tomorrow to clinch a wild card spot. But other than that. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we can go on to the next game.
Yeah, the Lions and the Bengals more. Because the Lions were playing for their playoff lives. And they went out and laid an egg against the Bungles.
And I absolutely loved it. Like,
I'm sure you did. The Motor City Kitties eliminated. You know?
And I've said it before on the show. I hate the Lions more than I hate the Packers. It's personal.
What?
It's personal. Like, I hate. Okay. So I hate the Packers on a professional standpoint, like just from a game standpoint.
Okay.
The Lions, I loathe the Lions because 2 of my favorite players played for their team.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite players of all time played for their team, and they retired.
Megatron and Barry.
Yeah, like how do you do a disservice to both of those guys?
How do you make 2 great players hate the game so much that they'd rather retire than play?
Like, that's asinine to me, man. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like, seriously, they made Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders hate the game so much, and they wanted out of Detroit so bad that they decided to retire instead of keep playing.
And truth be told, if Megatron came back today, I think he'd still put up monster numbers.
Yeah, even with all of his injuries. And you know what, the even sadder part of this game, moving off of the Lions side, the Bengals had nothing to play for. They know they have a lame duck coach. Mm-hmm. They know there's going to be sweeping changes next season. They had no reason to come out and even give a rat's ass. I had the Lions winning this game handily. And they just laid an egg. And if you are a playoff hopeful, you can't do that in this phase of the season.
Like you
can't. This is a team that we're supposed to beat handily. You had to beat the Bengals handily here.
And the Bears beat the Bengals handily.
Yes! I mean, come on. If you want to be a playoff team, you beat terrible teams like this.
Yeah. This game was a layup.
It was. It should have been. And speaking of teams with games that should have been layups, when you saw the schedule 5 weeks ago and you saw Jacksonville visiting San Francisco, did you have this one as a win for the Jags?
Of course I did.
Yeah, and then Jimmy G got traded there on Halloween, and everything changed. You realize he's undefeated as a starter. I know, played like a god. 350-plus yards against the number one defense in the NFL. Former, as of now, the Vikings are now, because of this game, the number one defense in the NFL. Hung 44 on them. Like, what? How do you do that?
Man, Jimmy ain't come to play no games with these boys.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I knew that last season. All right, if it weren't for the Miami Dolphins putting him on the shelf and then AC sprain in week 2, he'd have gone 4-0. And then Brady would have come back and kept on trucking. The Patriots would have finished 15-1, but oh well, they finished 14-2.
Yeah, your fandom is showing, Dork.
No, not at all. Hey, you know what? Patriot fans are loving the fact that Jimmy G is playing that lights out.
Yeah, because they feel like they got a team on the West Coast now.
Well, I mean, and not only that, but the kid was supposed to be our quarterback of the future, and he wound up getting traded because Brady's going to fire the franchise. You know, Brady's going to fire the Patriots, so all right, fine. Jimmy, have fun in San Francisco. Play like a god.
Man,
now,
Brady's
the thing that was
until he's 60.
He's trying. He ain't. All right, 2019, it's over. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, he's going to finish out his contract, and the Pats are going to be like, not so much.
You've been great and you're like a son to me, but I need you to go ahead and hang him up.
Yeah, seriously. You've got 80,000 passing yards. You got past 8, whatever. Yeah, exactly. And the more distressing thing about this game with the Jags, the shoving and the fighting on the sidelines as in the closing moments.
For what? Like,
yeah, seriously. You said that they're going to be a team to watch in the AFC playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If this keeps up, they're going to be out in the first round. They're locked into the 3 seed. They know they're playing a wild card team on wild card weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
And if they're not careful, that wild card team could knock them out and send them home.
Boys got to grow up, man.
Yeah,
like
they got it. They got to act like they've
well,
been there. They've got to act like they've been there.
That's the thing, though. They haven't been there.
Well, that's the problem. You fake it till you make it.
But
you think Tom Brady had ever acted like he'd been there? Yeah. Okay. The Steelers clinched a bye by beating the Texans 34-7, and took out their frustrations from the previous week against the Patriots, despite the fact that the Patriots still own tons of real estate in their minds. This was never a competitive game. The Texans are playing out the stretch. They're terrible.
There was nothing competitive about this game at all.
Bill O'Brien's probably going to get fired, unfortunately. And the problem is that this team went south as soon as Deshaun Watson went down with the ACL injury.
Yeah, I do think that the Texans can come back and play well next year, especially with Watson getting a little bit more experience under his belt. But this season was, I don't see Bill O'Brien being their coach next season. And it's unfortunate because, look what he has turned chicken shit into chicken salad year after year after year on that team. He really has.
I mean, you look at the terrible quarterbacks he has had over the years. He finally had his franchise quarterback, and that poor and the kid tears his ACL. Yeah, exactly. And it just sucks. And O'Brien just can't win for losing there. And I honestly think he probably needs a change of scenery because, it's just a toxic environment at this point. And the Texans just did not play like they cared. I
don't think they did. I think, you know what, if I'm going to talk about anything in this game being somewhat competitive, it was probably in the pregame when J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt were playing catch with each other.
That's about it.
Seeing who drop a pass first.
Yeah,
but
and
this game was...
It wasn't an exciting game.
Yeah, there was nothing...
Neither was the Jets and the Chargers.
I mean, do we even need to talk about the Jets and Chargers?
I mean, the only thing I'm going to say about the Jets and the Chargers is that, the Chargers stayed alive in a lackluster effort, and they completed their New Jersey sweep. They've beaten both the Jets and the Giants in the same stadium this season.
Which probably shouldn't have been very hard.
No, not really. Although at the time the Chargers were winless when they beat the Giants.
Ooh, true story. True story.
Well, actually, they were both winless at that point.
So that was the first. That was the first toilet bowl of the season.
Yeah, and then they kept their playoff hopes alive. So they need a lot of help. A couple other games to get to that nobody cares about. Broncos beat the Red Hawks. Kirk family member led the Red Hawks to victory for the last time at FedEx Field against his possible 2018 team. There's a lot of speculation that Cousins could end up in Denver next season,
which really wouldn't be much of a surprise, honestly.
Not a surprise. I mean, it was. I would say either Denver. If Bortles slips again and looks terrible, I think Jacksonville might move on from him. There's a ton of places.
Be a bad idea.
Cousins could end up in a ton of places, and every game that he played in this last few weeks, I'm going to get bleeped.
Yeah. So, Kirk brothers.
Yeah, Kirk family member is basically auditioning for future teams next. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and the Cards beat the Giants and nobody cares. 23-0. No implications whatsoever for that game other than wasting airtime. All right, so now we have our Week 17 uneducated predictions, and you're going to be surprised by some of mine, Brandon, but I'm going to color this with the fact that a lot of teams are resting starters. Okay. Especially Gianni and Dirk were talking about the fact that Mahomes is getting to start KC. And I'm just sitting here like, y'all, let's not read too much into this. The Chiefs are locked into the 4th seed.
Yeah, they're in. They're good.
They are not risking an injury to Alex Smith. So they're going to let Mahomes get the start. And let's see what you can do, kid. Have fun. But Alex Smith is our starter for the playoffs. And he probably will be their starter in 2018. Mahomes will get a bit more of an understudy role. Yeah.
Because
But you're going to see that in a lot of other games, too.
I can see it happening, especially in some of those games where you got a team who's the number 1 seed already, or locked in.
Teams playing for nothing. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, and it's like Mahomes. I'm kind of curious to see what the kid's got.
If there's one thing that I do know about that kid, he's got a fucking cannon.
Yes, he does. I saw him at Texas Tech.
He will throw it 70 yards with no problem. He could do that shit in his sleep.
Oh my God! Speaking of kids with cannons coming out, I was watching an irrelevant bowl game while I was at my mother's house. Wyoming's quarterback Josh Allen. They showed him throwing a ball 81 yards.
Are you serious?
81 yards. Like it was like
airtime 81 yards?
Yeah, like from the goal line to the 19-yard line.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, kid's got a cannon. He's probably going to be a Brown next season.
I hope not.
He's the kind of kid that would just take the challenge because he begged for opportunities all over football and only Wyoming gave him the opportunity. So he'd be like, I'm going to play prove it. Yeah.
The dickhead in me really wants Baker Mayfield to go to Cleveland.
Well, I don't think I think Cleveland's taking a quarterback number 1, and then using their second pick on another need. But if they decided to take the best overall athlete at number 1, Baker Mayfield may end up with the Browns because they might use the latter pick. But anyway, so let's get into these uneducated predictions. We're going to lead off with my beloved Patriots playing the Jets. And the Jets have extended Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon for another season. So, we get to end their suffering again next year. That's what Jets stand for, right? Just end the suffering?
I know
or
it now.
Just end the season.
Yeah. For this year, it's just end the season. But next year, I think the suffering ends.
But the fact of the matter is, Todd Bowles has done a hell of a job.
He really has, man.
Yeah, I mean, this team was supposed to go 0-16, not the Browns. This team was not expected to do anything at all. And they won 5 games. They've been competitive in a bunch more. They gave the Patriots all they could handle the first time around. And with the Patriots both integrating new players like James Harrison and also looking for ways to rest their guys and get them out of the game and avoid injuries, they could also do that again. But I've got the Pats winning this one 27-17.
Okay. I'm going to take the Patriots also. The score really doesn't matter to me as long as they make more points than the other team does. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, and not only that, the Pats are playing for home field advantage here.
Yeah.
They need it.
So the Patriots are definitely taking that game.
Yeah. Bills, Dolphins. I'm going to take Buffalo in this one. They're fighting for their playoffs lives. This is the first time since 2004 they have had a chance to be alive for a playoff berth in Week 17. And they need a lot of help to get in. They either need a Ravens loss and they win, or they need a Titans and Chargers loss and they win, and they're in. To make the playoffs for the first time since the Music City Miracle.
I think I can see the Ravens actually losing in Week 17, but we'll end up getting around.
Yeah, we're getting there. But like the Bills, I think they're going to beat Miami.
Yeah, I'm
24-13.
I'm going to take the Bills in this one too. Yeah, this will be the end of the Jay Cutler era in Miami, and he's going to go ahead and do sports commentary next year. But the Bills,
I wonder if they'll let him smoke Newports in the booth.
I think they might let him smoke Black and Miles. Yeah,
maybe they'll let him vape.
You know what? If they don't let him smoke Black and Miles, it'll definitely be vaping.
Cutler looks like he is about that vape life.
He does tricks and all of this shit. All right, so we got the Steelers and the Browns also. Obviously, I'm taking the Steelers, man. They're playing against the shits.
Well, not only that, but the Steelers are also alive for home field advantage in the AFC playoffs. And I think that the Steelers are going to win this one 20-0 because the Browns are going to score as many points as games they've won this season.
Ooh. I like that.
Cold.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I mean, the Browns are going to be 0-16, and as we've said many times on this show this season, they fucking deserve it.
You know what?
I'm tired of feeling sorry for these bastards.
The score in that game might be 16-0.
Oh,
and that was Brandon's shitty hot take. No,
yeah. We're gonna get to that in a minute, man. Don't jump in segments.
All right. Also we have the Ravens and the Bengals. Who you got?
I'm thinking it's going to be a repeat of the effort against the Colts. They're going to struggle to put away a crap team, 23-17.
I'm going to take the Bengals in this one, and I'm taking the Bengals because even though we already know Marvin Lewis is out the door, the guys on the team will probably want to send them out on a high note. They got to win last week.
Not only that, but have you seen the Ravens' offense?
Exactly. Like they are. They're the equivalent of garbage truck juice.
Yeah. Now, I was tempted to take the Titans in the next game, if only because Jacksonville, like we said, has locked up the 3 seed. They are the AFC South champions. Because of the fact of that, I thought for a minute that Jacksonville would rest their starters. But Tennessee makes the playoffs with a win. And not only that, if they win, they would go to Jacksonville to play the Jags again next week. So I think the Jags are going to go out of their way to eliminate a division rival. And I've got the Jags winning this one 14-10 because neither of them do anything on offense.
You know what? I'd like to see that third matchup. I'm going to go ahead and take the Titans.
All right. Texans and Colts. I got the Colts winning this one 31-10. That's all I have to say about it.
And this will probably be the worst game of the week. I'm going to take the Texans.
All right. Chiefs, Broncos. The aforementioned Mahomes Bowl. Patrick Mahomes gets the start. The Chiefs cannot move up or down. They are the 4th seed in the AFC. They will play probably the Ravens next week. So with that being said, I'm going to take the Broncos in a surprise 20-17.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Mahomes hangs up 2 touchdowns and at least 250 yards passing.
Hey, he could. But this is the last game of the year for the no-fly zone.
Yeah.
Possibly the last time that we see the no-fly zone together. Yeah, Talib and Chris Harris. So they've got a little bit of pride to play for. Yeah. They're going to go off. Speaking of teams with pride to play for, the Chargers and the Raiders. So we all know that the Chargers play in a little bitty MLS stadium, the StubHub Center in Carson, California. And they are consistently outdrawn by road fans. They are saying that this game here with the Raiders because of the strong Raider fan base in South Central, because the NFL should have moved the Raiders back to LA.
Exactly.
It's going to look like the black hole. And it is with that in mind that I say the Raiders pull off the upset and eliminate the Chargers from playoff contention 28-27.
I'm taking the Raiders also.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be a little bit lower scoring game. A little bit of a lower scoring game. I got the Raiders 21 to the Chargers 17.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but I mean, you can always count on Derek Vehicle making a bad decision. So yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, Derek Astrovan may he may find a way to throw this shit away, or he may show up and play lights out.
Derek Hyundai.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
we got the Eagles and Cowboys.
And I pushed this one down the lineup because, well, our friend Dirt Diggler is not here to extol all the virtues of bleeding green. And not only that, but this is a game that means something for both teams. The Eagles have clinched home field advantage. The Cowboys have been eliminated.
They're not going anywhere.
Yes, and I don't see the Eagles playing their starters. So I have the Cowboys taking this one in Philadelphia, 27-13.
And I don't want Dirt to take offense to this, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Cowboys also, because I want to rub this in my brother's face. I want to rub it in his face.
So bad. And not only that, I think that Dirt would appreciate my reasoning too. It's like they're going to rest their guys.
I mean, and that's really my rationale behind that. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're not going to play anybody important in this game. They're not going to risk injury. They've already lost Carson Wentz.
Yeah, you're locked into a playoff spot. There's no.
You're the number one seed.
Starters.
You're going to have 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
I mean, like at some point, the pride of beating on the Cowboys has to take a backseat to common sense.
Yeah. So you play the game smarter by not playing your starter.
Hello,
that shit rhymed. That should be a rapper.
Nice. I gotta say that was a pretty solid rhyme, bro.
Yeah, I try. I put them together every once in a while.
Wait, let me see if I can channel my inner Dirt Diggler. Bruh. So then we have the Giants and the Red Hawks. You see, I said the Red Hawks, so I don't get bleeped this time.
Yeah, we got it right this time.
And Kirk, family member, wins his last game as a starter for the Washington professional football franchise before moving on to greener pastures, 24-7.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Red Hawks, and Kurt Mothers is gonna he'll get his final win in a Red Hawks uniform.
All right, Packed Lions, also known as why would anyone go and see this fucking game? I got the Lions winning 16-10.
I hope they both lose, but I'm going to take the Pack in this one.
So you're hoping for a tie. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Vikings playing your Bears. The Vikings are playing for a bye here, but they're also towing the line, and it's in Chicago, correct?
This one may be in... No, I think it is in Chicago.
Yeah, so with that being said, it's outdoors. Chicago always plays better at home. They play up to the level of their competition. So I see them giving the Vikings problems. But ultimately, Vikings win and secure a bye 19-13.
I want to be a homer really bad on this game. However, I know that the Vikings are very real. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings in this game.
Vikings it is. All right.
Oh, and the game is in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
It's in Minnesota. So.
I already picked the Vikings to win. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saints Buccaneers. The Saints win this game. They are NFC South champions. So I've got them taking the Buccaneers to the woodshed, 30-3.
Yeah, the Saints are about to kick the snot out of these guys. Yeah, basically, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like, they really ain't shit. Like, they're horrible.
Like, I remember Dirt and I talking about this when Why Your Division Sucks back in July. Like, the Buccaneers are a sexy pick to be a Super Bowl team, and how could we have been so wrong?
Yeah, and instead of eating W's, they're about to eat an L on Sunday. So
Should they eat something? Maybe it's crab legs.
could be.
Damn you, Jameis. So, in the best game of the week, we've got the Panthers matching up with the Falcons.
This is
Panthers-
about to be a barn burner.
And the NFL thought about making this the Sunday night flex for Week 17, but ultimately it was decided that it could mean nothing at that point. So they decided to not flex any games and keep everybody in the 4:25 or 1 o'clock time slots. So there is no Sunday night game in Week 17 because there's no do or die game. Nobody go win or go home kind of game.
Right.
This was the closest to it, and once Seattle once it became apparent that nobody was going to have a do or die situation, they decided not to. But the Falcons and the Panthers were the closest to it.
Mhm.
The Falcons need this one to clinch a wild card. They win, they're in. They are the second wild card. The Panthers could move up to as high as a 2 seed here. They need a lot of help to do it. They need the Vikings, Saints, and Rams all to lose.
That's not.
And then they win. I mean, it could. It's still possible. Any given Sunday, Brandon.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Super Bowl 42, anyone? It hurts me saying it. But I don't, I'm going to go as Dirk would say, and don't trust Atlanta. DTA.
No, I don't trust them either.
31-28 Panthers.
I got the same score. Same score, and this is about to be a really, really, really good game.
It's going to be entertaining, but in the end, the Panthers will need the Heimlich because they're
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Panthers in this game.
So
The Falcons will Falcon.
Yeah, a little dabbing action there for you. And the video's not going to make it up there, so whatever.
Yeah.
The 49ers and the Rams. Now, I'm going to color my pick here with the fact that I just found out prior to us going on the air here. Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, Aaron Donald, and a whole bunch of other Rams starters, despite the fact that I think they could still clinch a bye. Their seeding's not determined. They're going to rest a bunch of starters. Which, okay, fine. So in that case,
they're already a lot.
They're in. They are the NFC West champions. However, I'm pretty sure they could still get a bye. I mean, it's a remote possibility. Again, like Carolina,
They need some help in order to get it.
yeah. So and it's with that knowledge that I am taking the 49ers, riding the Jimmy G Express to a lower draft pick. They're going to drop out of the top 10 with this win and finish 6-10. Remember when they were 0-9?
Yeah.
Right? And now,
Like,
ever since
who saw that coming?
Garoppolo shows up, they win 5 in a row. Like, good job, kid.
Yeah.
And extends his
Win streak.
his winning streak to 7.
'Cause
He's won 7 starts in a row to start his NFL career.
Yeah, he got the first
Dating
2
back
with the Patriots.
Yep.
And then
Against
he got
Arizona and Miami.
Yeah.
6 quarters of brilliance. Everybody was like, I don't know if I should trade for him. The Bears were especially skittish.
Let's not talk about that, Dork. Like that brings a bad.
I know
memories.
it was. Well, I mean, and not only that, I didn't like the idea of trading Jimmy at all.
Of course you didn't. He was you guys' future.
Fucking A. But he was also a free agent after this season. And Tom Brady's cap hit is a lot friendlier at $14 million.
Yeah.
Jimmy would have wanted something north of 20. And you're not going to pay a guy $22 million to be your backup. So he's gonna set the world on fire in San Francisco this season and next.
We will see. But
Nice.
if there's anything that I do know, he will be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He will definitely.
But
be
did you
fun
see
to
that
watch.
sidearm touchdown pass he had against the
That
Jaguars?
was ridiculous, man. Like,
Come on. Like he's we in 2017, he's in 3017.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It was
Who
ridiculous.
the fuck does that? Like the last sidearm quarterback I remember watching was Rich Gannon.
Shit, Brad Johnson. right?
Like, come on, man.
And he made it look good too. It wasn't like one of those shitty.
Yeah, like I could throw sidearm. Well, I could throw sidearm, but I'd probably fuck around and hurt
He
myself.
zinged it in there like Favre.
Yeah, like with no problem.
Yeah, like just flick of the wrist, it's in there, touchdown. Like Jesus Christ.
Like, who made you like this?
What are you even? Yeah. And then our last matchup of the week, Cards
Wait
Seahawks.
a second. I didn't make a pick for the Rams.
I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it was pretty obvious. I mean, now.
No, I thought you went with the Niners.
Yeah, now that we know that they're not going to start some of their starters, I'm going to take the Niners.
Yeah. And now we get to it. Cards Seahawks. Seahawks are also playing for their playoff lives, and based on my earlier pick of the Falcons losing to the Panthers and the Seahawks beating the Cardinals, the Seahawks, like a petrified zombie, shamble their way into the playoffs. They're going to lose in their first game. They're going to be beaten badly.
And then Earl
But
Thomas can go ahead and talk to Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to get an extra game out of this season, but they're going to beat the Cardinals 21-17.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cards, not the Cards. I'm taking the Seahawks in this one. The Cards they're done, and I think that Bruce Arians may be on his way out because of either health issues, or he sees that the team is going to absolute shit.
Well, I mean, Carson Palmer's done after this season. They have no answer at quarterback. Adrian Peterson is a
should
fossil.
be done.
David Johnson's coming back from a major reconstructive knee surgery, and there's no guarantee he'll be anywhere near as good as he once was. So, yeah. And therein are our uneducated picks for Week 17. And then, Brendan, do you hear that? Out in the distance.
All the way over there?
The takes.
Oh, it's time.
It is time.
It's time for the shitty hot takes.
Holy super shitty indefensible hot takes, Diggler! What are we gonna do now? Johnny, Dork, to the take mobile. Okay, hold on. I guess I just gotta get this started. Hold on. It takes a minute. It's kind of old. All right,
really?
All right. I think. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. All right.
Shitty hot takes of the week. All right, Brandon. So neither of us even sat down and thought of this, so we're on the spot.
We didn't. And
thank God we mixed this down later and we can edit out the pauses in between us coming up with our shitty hot takes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
All right. So what you got?
So anyway, Tom Brady, in response to all the love that Jimmy G's been getting the last couple of weeks, goes out and throws out of his mind game against the Jets. And then, leads the Patriots on a wonderful Super Bowl run. And on the stage after the Super Bowl, as he's accepting both the Lombardi Trophy and the MVP, grabs the microphone and just goes on a profanity-laden tirade against Goodell, Kraft, Belichick, and everybody says, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, fuck you, I'm out. And spitefully retires on the Patriots, knowing full well they've traded away all of their quarterback options for the future.
That would be awesome.
I know you'd like it.
That would be...
But it's too shitty to happen because he's a man of his word and he will honor his contract.
That's way too shitty to happen. Although it would be fucking
He would
amazing.
love it. Yeah, well, I figure it's one of those... We're in the holiday season to give the people what they want.
Oh, man. I gotta try to come up with something good, man. Let me see what I got. All right. For the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game.
I
don't know how they're going to do this whole thing, but I think that the way they're doing it this year is that the fans and players, whoever votes to get these guys in, they end up taking probably the guys with the top two guys who have the most votes, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's going to be LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Okay.
LeBron James, what he's going to do is he's going to get everybody who he had on a banana boat.
Oh, no. You mentioned banana boat. I'm already in fear of what's going to happen.
He's going to get all his guys from the banana boat. And then his last pick will be Kyrie Irving. In that All-Star game, LeBron will defer to him for all of the first quarter and never pass him the game. Never pass him the ball for the rest of the game. He's gonna freeze. He's gonna freeze Kyrie out. And that's my shitty hot take.
I have a bonus shitty hot take involving James Harrison.
Let's go.
All right, then it's another one that makes everybody happy, except me. So James Harrison, during the course of the AFC Championship game, reveals himself to be a spy for the Steelers. And in a moment scripted out of WWE, right as Ben Roethlisberger is about to be sacked to end the AFC title game,
this
the Patriots win.
This has got to be good.
Yeah, he stops, smiles at him, and lets him walk into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Then takes off his pads and reveals a Steeler jersey, and you hear Degeneration X music playing in the background.
Oh my God, yo, that would be awesome.
I know. I'm here to make people happy, but of course it's not going to happen because Harrison's got a lot to prove.
Oh yeah,
and I think he's going to do well. But anyway, so that's my hot takes.
This has been a good show. It's
been really fun, man. I had fun doing the show with you, man.
Yeah,
it's a nice stuff.
It's a little bit of a departure from having Dirt and Gianni on the show.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun. Just kind of winging it and learning on the fly what it takes to actually do podcasting.
Yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience for me. But man, it's been a great show. What you got planned going into the new year, man?
Me and my buddy are going to go to Annapolis tomorrow night and check out what's going on downtown. Maybe source some Naval Academy trim.
Ah, that should be nice. That should be nice.
It should be fun. It's going to be crazy either way. But what you got going on for New Year's?
You know what? We still haven't figured that part out yet. But when we do, we're going to go ahead and enjoy ourselves and bring in the New Year safely and happily.
Exactly. And you know what? I just been sitting around thinking to myself how crazy and amazing 2017 has been for me. You know, just in terms of moving here from Connecticut to Maryland, becoming part of Dirk Digglers' Shirty Sports Show, and then now carrying in with you an episode on our own without the founder of Dirk Digglers' Shirty Sports Show, Dirk Diggler himself.
Yeah.
We did pretty good.
I think so. I think we did
I think
well.
we found our calling as going into 2018.
But
anyway,
I look forward to doing a whole lot more shows with you guys, man. Thank you for bringing me in.
Especially next week when we unveil our Wild Card Weekend wine pairings.
Oh, that should be nice with the cheeses and everything.
I know, man. Mama Dork was on point with that one. Anyway, listeners, for Brandon, for Kenny the Dork, it's been real.
It's been fun.
It's
been real fun.
Damn right. Kenny.
Brandon.
Out.